Still with me, Mr. Beavis? Innocence in a world that wants to fix you. James B.W. Beavis is one of those rare Twilight Zone characters who is already whole before the lesson begins. Kind, eccentric, harmlessly disorganized, full of warmth. He loves kids, stuffed animals, moose heads, zither music, and his beloved old Rickenbacker. He greets his neighbors every morning. He slides down the banister for the joy of the kids. He lives in a private little world of optimism the rest of the world can't quite figure out. The problem? The world doesn't value innocence. It values image, control, and a narrow definition of success. Enter J. Hardy Hempstead, his so-called guardian angel. Hempstead offers Beavis a redo of the day. No firing, no eviction, no dead car. But there's a catch. Beavis must change certain characteristics. No bow ties, no zither music, no Christmas carolers in the office, no quirks that make him Beavis. This is form versus content in pure form. The new Beavis has a modern car, a respectable suit, rent paid in advance, and a raise at work. But the content, the joy, play, and natural connection is gone. The kids won't play with him. The landlord treats him like a client instead of a friend. The office is sterile. The mirror of his life shifts to match the shift in his mind. And for all the external improvements, the world feels colder. Here's where the banister scene is everything. In his old life, Beavis slides down the banister every morning. At the bottom is a round knob, and yes, he bumps into it every time for a laugh. The kids laugh. He laughs. Life goes on. In his new life, as he moves toward the banister, Hempstead stops him. "You don't do that nonsense anymore." But then, Hempstead lingers. He looks at the rail, and you can see the thought flicker. This might be fun. That's the metaphysical giveaway. There's nothing inherently wrong with the banister slide. There's nothing inherently wrong with anything in form. It's the meaning we give it that determines whether it's joy or guilt. The ego says, "You're too old, you'll look silly, it's undignified." The Holy Spirit says, "If it's joyful and harmless, the only thing that matters is the content in your mind." This is why Beavis's innocence matters. He wasn't special because he was eccentric. He was free because he wasn't trying to be anything. His quirks were not rebellion. They were the overflow of an unself-conscious heart. The ego's version of specialness says, "Be different so you'll be noticed." True innocence says, "I'm just being." When Beavis finally tells Hempstead he wants his old life back, he's making the only real choice there is, choosing content over form. And here's the Holy Spirit proof. When he returns to his old life, the hydrant moves. The parking ticket is avoided. The miracles remain. Beavis asks, "Still with me?" And Hempstead says, "Still with you." That's the reminder. The Holy Spirit doesn't leave when the form looks messy, or when you lose the job, or when you're 6 weeks behind on rent. The guidance is constant because it isn't tied to circumstances. The world wants a polished Beavis, dependable, predictable, improved. But heaven doesn't measure value by polish. It sees the joy in the banister slide, the love in a model ship built for a kid, the beauty in a conversation with the landlord who actually likes you. And that's the metaphysical flip. The world calls the fixed Beavis better. Heaven calls him diminished. The world calls the old Beavis a failure. Heaven calls him whole. The eternal truth in Mr. Beavis is this: joy is not a function of possessions, status, or other people's approval. It's a function of innocence, unpretentiousness, and not confusing the mask with the face. As A Course in Miracles teaches, the only real change is of mind. Change the form without changing the content, and you've changed nothing real. Keep the content of love, and the form can be a jalopy, a banister slide, or a suit and tie. It won't matter. So if the banister is calling, slide. And if someone tells you, you don't do that nonsense anymore, smile. And know the only nonsense is the belief that joy has to be respectable to be real.